G'day ice cream lovers, my name's Steve Christensen. Welcome to this episode of the video cast / podcast. We do so much media here, we probably need to start delineating it because we're going to extract the audio out of this and drop it into our podcast that you can get on Apple and most other podcast providers. Just search Scoop School and you'll be as good as gold. Anyway, great to see you again. It's been a little while since the last post. Things are going crazy in the world of ice cream, but we do want to get back into this daily routine of recording and giving you the best quality content to open or grow your own frozen dessert or ice cream business. Now, we want to thank our episode sponsor for this particular episode, which is Frozen Solutions. FrozenSolutions.com. Mitch and all the crew out there on the West Coast, they literally ship basically anything that you want to put into ice cream into, cups, lids, containers. They do color changing spoons, straws, the whole gamut. So go to FrozenSolutions.com or call Mitch, tell him that Steve sent you, and you'll be as right as rain. Now, I do want to talk a little bit about chef's coats in this particular episode because most of you who watch the podcast regularly probably see that this is a different chef's coat than the one that I'm usually wearing. Because this podcast, I'm wearing the OG chef's coat that we first made for our stores in Australia nearly, 20 years ago. So we had frozen custard stores in Australia. Again, we weren't making a fresh product so far as batch freezing and so forth. But every time I was in there operating the custard machine making fresh frozen custard, I would wear the Mr. C's Ice Cream Emporium chef's coat. Now, the idea is that a chef's coat gives you instant credibility. And I'm very, very sensitive of if there is a such thing as stolen valor from a chef's standpoint, because I have demonstrated in a lot of food trade shows around the world, the National Restaurant Association being the probably most common, and I'll put a chef's coat on. Any old numbskull can wear a chef's coat, as is plainly visible, and people automatically give you the respect that they give a chef that's gone through years and years of training. In fact, they come up to me and they say, "Hey, Chef Steve," or they'll say, "Oh, excuse me, chef," and I'm like, "Oh, you talking to me?" Because I'm not a chef. But when you have a chef's coat on, you get that kind of instant credibility. And again, I don't know whether there's a National Chefs Association that's, monitoring people like me, but look, in the grand scheme of things, in your ice cream store, if you're formulating ice cream, you're making different types of ice creams, custards, frozen desserts, it really does make a huge difference if you've got a chef's coat like this, because it kind of gives the customer the impression that, hey, you take your recipe formulation seriously, you're producing in-house, and it really does make a statement. Now, on ours, what we had was our logo put here on the front, Mr. C's, but we also had the logo put on the back here, so that if I ever had my back to the customer and we were doing stirring, blending with an immersion blender, they all could see this branding process. Chef's coat can cost you anywhere between, I don't know, 10, 20 bucks, a little bit of embroidery. Again, check with your state chefs association to make sure you're not breaking any rules. But I'll tell you, it's a great way of engaging with your customers and them seeing the difference between what you're offering in your ice cream shop, your frozen dessert shop, and then what a local chain or another independent is offering down the street. Again, it's the little things, but it's what keeps your customers coming back again and again and again. So have a look, go online, Amazon.com is where I got most of mine. Find a local embroidery, get your logo put into that embroidery file. It might cost you about $30, $40. But once you've got a whole bunch of these, you can have one for yourself and perhaps 2 or 3 of your managers or ice cream makers, frozen dessert makers can have them. Look, I've gone into places where every single employee has a chef's coat on. And again, it's a visual cue, it's a visual sign that you take your frozen desserts seriously. Not a lot of money to spend for a lot of credibility when it comes to customers' perceptions. Look, very easy one today. Again, I've got a link down here for perhaps some examples of some chef's coats that you want to buy on Amazon, where we got this one from, and also a link down there as to all of the things that we have going on at Scoop School. Again, want to thank our episode sponsor, Mitch from FrozenSolutions.com. Thank you, Nick. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns about the ice cream or frozen dessert industry, drop us a line. We'd love to hear from you. Steve@scoopschool.com. or leave a comment below, or you could slap like now. You could slap subscribe. Bit of a shout out to Davey504. Keep on scooping, folks. We'll see you in the next video.